Hi, I'm Mark Burnett, the creator of Eco Challenge. You're about to watch 2 hours of incredible television showcasing the Eco Challenge which took place in Borneo. Teams from 30 nations raced 24 hours a day across some of the toughest terrain on Earth, the deep jungles, remote islands and incredible oceans of Borneo. As you're about to see, the resulting TV show is an incredible showcase of the human spirit. Eco Challenge doesn't reward just pure strength and speed, but rather it rewards teams of people working together and using their character to overcome incredible odds to reach the elusive finish line.
A race against time.
Guess who's behind us? And they're right on our ass.
I can't continue this.
Breaking the spirit of the team behind you.
A race against nature.
Freeze our asses off.
A race against oneself.
Oh my God, what have I got myself into?
I've managed to fight my own demons of failure.
World-class and rookie athletes from around the world. Testing the limits of human endurance. A perilous course. Unforgiving terrain, a remote and exotic island. This is the world's toughest expedition race. This is Eco Challenge.
Don't make any dumb mistakes. Don't make any dumb mistakes. I made one of the dumbest.
Rising out of the South China Sea is a land where explorers vanish, where exotic creatures live, where headhunting ended only 50 years ago. They call it the Heart of Darkness. They call it Borneo.
ETA to the start of the race. 2-minute ETA.
We're here at the start of Eco Challenge 2000.
Great day to be in Borneo.
They're about to begin the journey of their lifetime. It's going to take every ounce of their ingenuity, their wit and their stamina just to reach the finish line. This year among the experienced teams are the best in the world.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go! Okay, the race has started, guys. The race has started.
Competitors have just begun a 12-day, non-stop expedition through Sabah, Malaysian Borneo. They will travel day and night with little or no sleep along the grueling 320-mile race course. Teams of 4 with mixed gender will paddle in native outrigger canoes for as many as 3 days. They will trek over jagged coastline on remote islands and negotiate thick jungle before they continue the daunting ocean leg to the mainland. They will mountain bike for as much as 30 hours over brutal terrain to the heart of the leech-infested Borneo rainforest, where many will be forced to endure this hostile environment for up to 3 days. They will swim cold, muddy waters through treacherous rapids and paddle native canoes for 2 days down a winding and unpredictable river. Teams will tackle the massive Mad-Eye Caves, where they will ascend ropes inside huge caverns, maneuver across razor-sharp limestone ridges before rappelling down a 330-foot cliff. By this point, nearly half the teams will have dropped out, but for those tough enough to make it this far, they face yet another obstacle, a daunting 40-mile open ocean paddle to the finish line.
Get ready for some of the most incredible athletes you have never heard of, competing in the most extreme and intense sport you didn't know existed. High risk, high altitude, high adrenaline. This is Primal Quest Utah, the world's toughest race. World-class rock climbers, kayakers, endurance athletes, and mountain bikers are all drawn to these deadly races in the wilderness. It's a contest that plays out far from cheering crowds or the safety net of civilization. Though every race tests the athlete in mind, body, and spirit, there's one race above all others. Competition so challenging, so demanding, and ultimately so dangerous that it's widely regarded to be the world's toughest race. Adventure racing's Super Bowl is this, Primal Quest, a 450-mile-long test of skill and endurance that's the equivalent in length to running, biking, climbing, and paddling from Fenway Park to the Lincoln Memorial, or from the Golden Gate Bridge to the Santa Monica Pier. This race takes place across some of the most desolate and beautiful terrain in America, the sun-blasted, rattlesnake-infested Red Rock Desert around Moab, Utah. These guys aren't playing games. This sport is for real. This is Primal Quest Utah, the world's toughest race.
Seattle, Washington.
Got your other one? Yeah.
That looks really good.
90 teams comprised of 360 athletes from all over the world have gathered here in the desert of southeast Utah to begin a journey that will be a complete test of their physical condition and emotional strength.
Bring this down.
There's something out there that just is calling me to see how tough I really am, to see how much suffering I can take. I came to suffer.
These elite athletes will be pushed to the edge of human endurance over some of the toughest terrain found on Earth.
It's a sport of all sports. Anything goes that's non-motorized, pretty much.
Adventure racing is somewhat organized insanity.
This is essentially my Everest. Absolutely. I doubt I'll ever have the chance to do this again.
To help us understand more about Primal Quest Utah, we joined someone who's managed to survive a few PQs himself. Former adventure racing world champion Isaac Wilson.
There are a lot of things that make adventure racing, and Primal Quest in particular, very unique in the sporting world. First, this race is non-stop. These teams will get as little as sleep as possible, perhaps no more than 10 hours in 10 days. Second, there's no set race course. Teams must make their way from checkpoint to checkpoint across this brutal and broken desert terrain using merely map and compass. And not only is this the most physically demanding competition anywhere, it's also one of the most mentally exacting. These powerful dynamics are found nowhere else in sport, and combine to create an event that provokes human excellence like nothing you've ever seen before in your life.
Start the race. Less than half the field is expected to finish. This is an event that is designed to break down any racer that steps to the starting line.